Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
Let's get going, guys. For those of you who were not here last week, Karina Danninger is on, and we're going to talk about AI tonight. And I would consider this an actual hands-on lesson. She's going to be showing you stuff through slides, but I'd highly recommend that you take notes. This obviously will be recorded. As long as you're registered, you're going to get the recording, of course. Um, but maybe go into whatever have another session going, where you can implement some of what you're learning. I
Well, and
love that type
actually,
of.
Gary, I'm going to share my slides with you after this evening so you can share
Okay.
it with them so they can either make some notes, but I think they're going to be
Ah,
very engaged in what's happening. And then that way they don't miss anything. Because
gotcha.
otherwise it'll just slide right by, literally.
Okay. Thanks
Yeah.
for mentioning that, Karina. So, Karina, go ahead and take her away. If you've got the open floor, most everybody's here. We'll have some more coming in, but PF and I will keep an eye on things for you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gary. Well, I'd like to thank you all for having me here this evening. I have done this presentation many times. Every time I do it, I find that I need to update something because AI is moving like that, right? So prior to coming into real estate from 1995 until 2012, I sold enterprise-wide software to the Fortune 250. I was doing multi-million dollar deals with them. And so I learned at a very early age that technology changes very quickly. And as a salesperson, you have to stay on top of the cutting edge of technology so you don't get left behind. So when I came to real estate in 2013, January 2013, so I just hit my 11-year anniversary, and I've been selling down here in Florida, that I went right away to the technology. And I noticed nobody was really, where at least in my area, was posting anything about real estate. When I went to real estate school, what they say, you don't be a secret agent, right? And so, I, coming from tech, I went all over social media, which was Facebook at the time for me, and mostly LinkedIn. LinkedIn I had been an early adopter in 2005. I was doing a huge multi-country deal with Johnson & Johnson. I had the headquarters in Jersey. That's where I'm from. And so I'm a Jersey girl in Florida. So I try to talk a little slower when I'm in Florida, but for you Northerners, I'm going to love you and you'll love me because I'll keep up with your speech. Anyone else, if I talk too fast, please just let me know and I'll try to slow it down a little. So for that, this gentleman over in the Netherlands called me up one day and he was like, "Hey, Karina, you got to check out this thing called LinkedIn." And I said, "Oh, Harry, I'm not getting on that thing. That, like, MySpace, I put my nose up to it, right? We were big tech. We didn't do those things. If the pizza guy only had his stuff on MySpace, I was like, well, he's not going to get my business. He should have a website. Like, that was that's just the area I came from, right? Then fast forward, I come into real estate and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get on all these social media platforms. You got to be everywhere. And so I not only embraced it, I posted all the time about closings or that I became a realtor. I was in Florida. I didn't know anybody. I moved here sight unseen with 2 kids, a dog and 2 cats as the only living parent. I didn't even know what my house was going to look like when I got here. And so when I did, and making my career change a little bit later after moving in here, I'll tell you what, I hit the jackpot doing what I did, because all of a sudden, Northrop Grumman up in Bethpage, Long Island, who was a huge customer of mine, I hear on the news they're moving their headquarters from Long Island in California to Melbourne, Florida, which is my neighborhood. And so the next thing you knew, I was literally selling houses back to the people I used to sell software to. And so I double dipped, right? I sold them in the software, I sold them in the houses. And I told them back then, you were going to be a customer for life. They didn't know how true that was. And so anyways, I have been in real estate. I leveraged the internet. I jumped on video as soon as I could, because one of the companies I had worked for back in the day was a product where the programmers would they would go behind these walls and do their job. And then they'd come back 6 months later to their client, which would maybe be, some sort of research and development person, or they're trying to bring a drug out for one of big pharmas or a banking institution. And you know what happened? They'd have to scratch it because they had it all wrong. They didn't understand verbally what that the customer wanted versus what they needed to go build. Not any different than a house being built and you being the customer, and you give your plans to the architect, and then they give you the build the house, and you're like, well, the third bathroom's outside. Like, what the heck were you thinking, right? Same idea when they were building the software. So I worked for this company where they could actually design it all first without ever putting any code to it, get the little widgets right, the colors, the buttons, the features, whatever. And as I sold that product, it clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, people the library is freaking empty unless you're the homeless and you're in the middle of a city somewhere. Nobody's in the library. They don't want to read. They want to watch a movie, right? They'd rather go to the theater than the library. And so, or they want to look at it on their phone. So because of that, with the real estate piece of it, I started going, how can I do videos? You know, I am high energy. I don't know if you noticed, but at the listing appointment, I realized the sellers, I was winning every listing appointment I ever went on, and I sold that track record today, 11 years later. But I realized the sellers were hiring me because of my energy. And my narratives are great, right? Like, they're pretty peppy. I was a cheerleader in high school. I can write one heck of a narrative, right? But the thing is that how do you really get that energy across to a buyer? And I was like, video. Well, Facebook didn't have Facebook Live yet. We're talking a lot of years ago. And so I first started doing Skype videos to all the buyers that would call me, and I'd take them around if they couldn't come into Melbourne or they were out of state or out of country. And I would do things on my Skype on a big tablet. And from that, I started listening to what the men always wanted to know what the ceilings look like. So I'd be like, okay, here's what your ceiling looks like. The wives always wanted to know what was in the corners. So I pay attention, right? You have to listen as a salesperson. And when you start hearing the same pattern over and over again, you do it all the time. So by the time I found Periscope, and I'm an Android girl because I sold software, my engineers would hang me by my toenails if I had ever gone Apple for the proprietary software. So Periscope did not like us Android girls. So there's a lot of early videos where I'm showing luxury properties, and I'm literally walking on my head on water because it flipped me upside down, and the sun was so bright I couldn't see what I was looking at in my phone. And so those videos went viral, and I sold them really fast to people all over the world that were on Periscope. So I got through my clunkiness. You know, we all are a little clunky on video if you're just beginning and you're trying to figure out what to look at the phone and what to say and not feel like you sound like an idiot. You just got to go. So by the time I got through all that, guess what came out? Facebook Live. And the day they actually released it was the day I had another listing. Every time I list a property, I do a Facebook Live narrative. I had a broker one time tell me, oh my gosh, your videos are too long. They're like 12 or 15 minutes. And I said, well, you're not my buyer. I only care about that one person that's looking for a house and wants to watch it 3 or 4 times because they're going to put an offer in. And I have sold many, many properties sight unseen around the globe because of those Facebook Live. So that's just a little piece for you. So I'm going to show you why I jumped on AI now that you have a smidget of a background on me. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's see. What's it going to take us to? Can you see my screen at all?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I just got to get this. There we go.
It's
Okay.
still the Zoom screen. Yeah.
Oh, can you see it now? Or do you see my PowerPoint?
There it is.
Okay.
Yep. You know what it is, Karina? It's the internet. There's a lot of solar flares going on. Everybody all over the world is saying the same thing. It's just, there's delays, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I wish that was true for me. Unfortunately, I literally live where they put the astronauts in space up by Cape Canaveral. And so you would think that we could at least get a little good, internet, but I think they suck it all up and hog it from the rest of the people that live here. Because it's always an ongoing battle. So, all right, so let me get going here. So let me see here. All right, let's get this slideshow. All right, so with AI, I have 2 kids. One's 24, the other one's 25. They're about each to turn a birthday, so they're making me feel older every day. But my daughter, the older one, she was learning AI in college as she was becoming cybersecurity and a linguistic minor, and she's super, super smart. Nobody could be as smart as her even back in third grade. So we love that we have Emma around. But Emma was talking to me all the time about, Mom, I think you're going to like what's going on with artificial intelligence. You really, this is right up your alley, all this stuff. So it wasn't really mainstream yet. So I was doing my own kind of poking the bear with it. And then about a year and a half ago, I was like, I really need to figure out how I can use this in my real estate business. And probably just like a lot of you get spam email from all sorts of AI stuff. It's mostly noise, or they're going to take a bunch of money and you're not going to get anything out of it anyways, right? So I was just kind of in that situation. And then I started hearing about this one company that did this AI certification. And so what happened was I reached out, I checked on him, I talked to him a bunch of people from EXP were taking the certification, and it was at the very beginning of when they had kicked this thing off. And so I ended up sitting through it, and it's changed my whole world on how I work, how I market, and the amount of time it's freed me up for. So I have something that I'm going to share with you right now. And I would like you to take a look at there's a lot of things I'm going to show you guys here tonight, is to expand your mind of the opportunities. I'm not here to teach you AI. If you want to learn AI, we'll talk about that at the end. But I'm here to open your mind, because you only know what you know. And if you have or have not been exposed to AI applications and technology and things that you could use for real in your real estate business, then how would you know what you're missing? So I'm going to kind of be like the one dangling the carrot in front of you guys today.
Welcome to the Rockstar Series training on AI. My name is Karina.
Nope, I'm so sorry. I was trying to turn it up and I turned it off. Nope.
Welcome to the Rockstar Series training on AI. My name is Karina Danninger. I am one of the only ones in the world who is an AI certified AI real estate agent. The first in Brevard County, Florida. I know how important it is to stay on top of the technology curve. It is very rare to have the opportunity to live through a major technology shift in our lifetime. For many of us, it's the second time. The first was the invention of the internet. Many millionaires came from the internet.
Karina, sorry to interrupt, but
Yes.
it's very soft.
It is. Okay, give me 1 second and I'll see if I can, maybe it's on my machine. Give me 1 second and we will just jack this up. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, I appreciate it.
There should be an optimize button too. Are you on a Windows or a Mac
Yes,
computer?
Windows.
All right. I'm trying to remember where that is. When you first share your screen, if you're going to share a video, it should be does anybody recall where that is? The optimize button? I wouldn't worry about it right now.
I
Go
saw
ahead,
it
Jeff,
in I saw it in settings. It was just a setting for Zoom earlier on mine.
Let me see
Okay.
if it'll work now, and if not, then we'll go find it real quick.
Okay.
Welcome to the
we can fast forward it. There you go.
Brevard County, Florida. I
Can you
know
hear it
how
now?
important it is to stay on top of the technology
It's
curve.
only a tiny bit better.
It's
Opportunity
soft,
to
but
live through a major
better.
technology shift in our lifetime. For many of us, it's the second time. The first was the invention of the internet. Many millionaires came from the internet. The second is the AI revolution. Many more millionaires will be made at a much faster rate. Soon, you will see and hear about billion-dollar companies, from startup to $1 billion earned in under a month with AI, and eventually in just a matter of days. I applaud you for taking time out of your schedule to learn more and level up your current work. So sit back and take great notes on how you can change your real estate career with what you are about to learn today.
So let me ask you all, and you'll have to speak up because I'm looking at my screen instead of what you guys are seeing. But I would like to know if you think that was me doing a recording or an AI bot that looks like me.
Bot.
AI bot. That
Yeah.
was a bot.
That was a bot. But it's amazing what we can do with these AI bots.
Yeah.
Before, when I did my certification, Hey Gen wasn't even out yet. And I'm going to show you what they trained us on first. And there's going to be some things that I'm going to teach you guys that we learned, like some lessons and financial lessons that we've learned because the technology is moving so fast. So as we go through, I'll teach you guys some things so you're not overspending on anything because it's moving so fast. So as I mentioned, I am an AI certified real estate agent. It definitely gives me a listing advantage every time I sit down with a seller because I'm able to show them how we're going to find their ideal client profile and how we're going to market to them and how we're going to do our advertising. And I'm literally doing it on the fly on my computer at their kitchen table. And there's no one else that can touch me once I start going on that and I start pulling that together. And I only learned that from going through the certification course. So it is definitely a game changer, and a wow factor. And right now, especially with what's going on in our industry, how do you differentiate yourself? You have to do something to stand apart when all this other nonsense is going on around us. So don't worry about that nonsense. Just figure out how to go sell more real estate, list more properties by differentiating yourself. So I don't know if you know this or not, but AI on an average works 125,000 times faster than the human brain. I personally love that because I thought my brain moved fast, and if something can like speed run around me, I'm all for it. But the high tech with the human touch is where it's at. You can't just have AI right now. You really need to add that human touch. And that's where we, the realtor community, comes into play, right? So we can set up all that marketing. But if if the AI is helping us create tons of marketing right out the bat, all our scripts for videos and posts for Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and you name it, and formatted correctly, what do you do with the rest of your time? Well, my gosh, you can go talk to more clients. You can have more open houses and broker opens. You're no longer taking a week to set up your listing and to get everything out, all your marketing out. You can schedule it and go and not have to worry about it after that. But you do have to read everything that's spit out at you. It is still your name, it's your license, it's your reputation, right? So as great as AI is, it's still not a human being, and you still have to double check what's going on. That's very important. It is really, really crazy. There's so many people that jumped into crypto on the first round few years ago. And I know several people that are no longer selling real estate anymore because they made so much money. AI is literally going to be 10 times bigger than crypto financially. So that's pretty crazy. And when I did this slide particularly was done last November when I presented it. And that's when Mike saw me do the presentation. And that's how I'm here today. But the thing is that, you know, our stocks were not going crazy like they are right now. So if you're watching the stock market, you know, there are some very crazy AI companies going through the roof. So much so that one now is the number 3 company in the world, and they are a chip maker, and they have gone bonkers. I truly believe that in the next, probably, if it even takes a year, I don't think it'll take that long, there will be a company that will start on the 1st of the month or whatever that day is, and 30 days later will be $1 billion company publicly traded on the stock market. And we will see that coming very soon because that's how fast this stuff is moving. As far as the chip makers, you have Bill Gates. Oh my gosh, I just lost his name. The Meta Universe. Can someone help me? Who has Facebook?
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. Thank you. And Elon Musk have dumped in billions and billions, and I'm talking like billions of dollars into AI technology for the last decade. So while we were all sleeping, thinking we were like on top of the world with everything, these guys were already dumping billions into AI. And just recently, they all dumped in more billions, multiple billions by each of them, to make sure that they have enough chips coming up in the future. So they're investing in AI like it's going out of style. And so this is not a fad. AI is here to stay. And the more you know, the more you'll see, because then you're kind of looking under the covers of how things are made. You'll realize there's more AI out there than you can imagine that you're interfacing with on a regular basis. All right, so we all have clients that we need to stay in touch with, right? So some people don't like to make videos. Other people need to do something for all the social sites, but it takes a lot to sit there and do all that stuff, right? Or how about mass emails? If you use MailChimp or KV Core or whatever CRM you're using to do some mass emails, are you setting out, is anybody on this video right now or on the Zoom doing anything with sending out like a market update monthly to your clients? Anybody? Speak now for hold your peace. Okay, well, you know what? I know that people like these market updates, and I send this out monthly. Thank you, Anna, for saying yes. So how about if you could do a video, but who has time to sit there and memorize all those statistics of going on in the video?
Hi, this is Karina Daninger, broker associate and team leader of the Lotus Group brokered by EXP Realty. Today, I am bringing you a quick recap of the Brevard County residential report for January 2024. Closed sales are down 6.4% for January 2024, in which the number of units closed was 581 compared to 621 in January 2023, with a decrease in cash sales of 3.40%. New pending sales are down 5.7%, and new listings are up 14.8%. The median sales price for Brevard single-family homes is up 6.0% to $371,583 compared to a year ago, which was $350,540. Month supply of inventory is up 47.8% to 3.4 months, an increase from 2.3 months in January 2023. Traditional sales are down 6.8%.
I'm just going to fast forward this for a second so you guys can see. But part of this is so you guys can promote yourself while you're selling your area.
1 month in January 2023. Traditional sales are down 10.8% with a median sales price of $280,100. Foreclosure, HTTPS luxfloridaproperties.com. Thank you for your time.
So I literally did that video like 30 minutes before this this presentation tonight. So I didn't have a chance to really play with my wording too much. So it kind of slurred my numbers, but you can take a minute if you don't have to fly it in there. But I wanted you to see, like, I was wearing the same shirt now as I am there. It is today that I just did this, but it literally, a 3-minute video took me 20 minutes. And part of that was the recording of me to send to HeyGen, upload it, and then go drop a bunch of stuff in. And I literally copied and pasted the entire market report from my my MLS. Our local board sends them out like every couple months, and I just copied and pasted it and dropped it in there and just gave it some spacings. So do you think you could do something like that and send it out to your clients? And like every time you got a market update, it would be very easy to do that. You take a couple extra minutes and make sure that you're not slurring your words so they don't think you're drinking with your AI bot. But really, you know, you can do anything. And I added these pictures in there because I wanted you guys to see I'm selling the area. I'm also selling working with me. I'm selling the fun. I mean, this is like surfing Santa on Christmas Eve. We have in Cocoa Beach, we have tens of thousands of people that show up every Christmas Eve, and everybody's dressed up, and you have all these Santas and Mrs. Clauses and everybody else that are jumping in the water to go surfing. It's a whole thing, right? With coming from up north, we don't have snow, right? We have sand. So having the the holiday music that's all tropical. It's a lot of fun. So people, this is something if they're past clients or current clients, maybe they live in Missouri. I have several that do that come out, have multiple houses out here for rentals. You know, it's a way for me to just remind them of the fun. We have the Port Canaveral, you know, different closings, or this is my go-to inspector, so that most of my buyers all know them, you know, the houses, the whatever. So you can do whatever you want to do, but it is definitely a very easy way to get two things done at once, right? Is promote the area, and not even have to sit there and memorize it. To record your video on to make this avatar is not difficult at all. So it takes a few minutes, you got to upload it, and then they chug it out. And then once they do, then you can go create your other little the rest of your videos. So let me go back and let me just get in here and okay. So I'm going to stop. Oops. I'm going to ask right now, does anybody have questions up to this point before I keep going?
Hey, Karina, when you're creating these, do you use another CRM, or do you use KB Core yourself and send these out through like emails? I mean, what's the delivery media?
So I can send them through KB Core with no problem. However, the way I have it is I have my MailChimp that I do all my like big mass mailings. And then when someone raises their hand, so to speak, like, hey, I need whatever, then what I do is I then move them to my KB Core. So I used to dump everybody into my CRMs, and because that's what I would do when I sold software, right? But it was different back then because I didn't have to talk to everybody, but I like to keep them all in there. I had to still talk to like different groups in there to sell my software. With real estate, I have found that if your CRM is a hot mess with too many people in there and it's not organized, you're never going to go in there and use it. And so I like to send everybody through my MailChimp. Plus I set up all my emails. Like I have them all on a time frame, if, you know, especially if I'm putting out advertising or whatever. So I have different, I have a whole bunch. It's all set up in a different way. So I use MailChimp personally. You don't have to use MailChimp, I guess is the answer. You can send it through your email. They'll give you a link. This one I downloaded, but you have a link. You can even just send your link out to somebody. Yes, PF.
Karina, it's kind of like a silly question. Is every one of your videos with the same outfit?
No, in fact, I just did this one today. And if you saw the one earlier, I was in a different outfit. You can do as many as you want.
Oh, so you pre-record yourself with the different outfits, and then you could use that avatar.
That's right. Yep. And then, you know, this one, we're going into summer. I'll probably use this one with the blue shirt and the starfish a few more times. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm sending something back to my clients, I'll have something else on.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you don't want to look like, you know, you don't want it to be so like, you know, now you guys might get away with it if you're wearing like a nice suit jacket and a nice shirt and a pair of pants. I think the guys can get away with it way easier than us girls. So people judge us girls and what we're wearing. So, you know, I think that, and this shirt would definitely stand out. Like they'd be like, hey, we've seen that one 4 times. Doesn't she own any other clothes? You know what I mean? So I would have to definitely change my shirts, but it doesn't take that long to do these videos.
Yeah. Karina, just for the record, we can't
Yes.
even get our socks to match.
Okay, well,
You know?
I feel better.
I'm just kidding.
I know you
Karina?
are. Yes,
You said that you were using HeyGen.
yes.
Okay, the spelling of that is
Okay, well, hang on to that. We'll come back to that in a few minutes.
okay.
All right, awesome, perfect. So, because it is this one's not easy out of the box. You're definitely gonna, and I want to show you how you're going to go about that. So a few minutes and we'll go into that at the very end. But thank you. Don't let me forget though. If I start ending it, just remind me to make sure we jump back out there. All right. So do we have any other questions before we move on?
Like we're good.
Okay, excellent. All right. So here's the deal. you can create more faster, freeing up your time to create more business opportunities, right? That's what we all struggle with, or most of us at least, is that there's not enough time in our day. So we're working with this client or this listing and we are in the weeds. And then, you know, the whole goal is to keep putting people into your sphere and into your funnels and bringing in more buyers and sellers, because when one closes, you don't want to be then now trying to start working with your next client, because now you have a 90-day cycle before you're going to get paid again. The goal is to always be pumping people into your funnel. And this market's been a little weird. So some people are super busy, other people are super like dead. And so they're trying to find one deal. So by leveraging the AI, you will create more opportunities. You'll be able to advertise more often and post more often. Two things about that. The more you post, the more the algorithms go up that says, oh, hey, you know, this person really is, you know, pushing people towards their page, and we want to then send them more people. That's the socials back end knows when you are, it's almost like Santa Claus, when you're posting and when you're not. And if you're not, it's kind of on the naughty list. And when you are, you're on the good list. And so they want that. They also want to see you advertise because they want your money. And then when you're giving them some money, they're giving you more things that are coming your way. And you may not realize it, but then all of a sudden your business page is getting like 42 likes all of a sudden. You're like, wow, I wonder what changed. You've been posting more. That's what changed, right? Or you ran advertising. So we also want to win more listings while finding more buyers and sellers. So we would need to leverage all the various AI opportunities in order to make that happen. But you didn't even know half of these existed until you start leveraging AI. So with a raise of hands, and I'm going to, I don't want to come out of this. I guess don't raise your hand because I can't see you, because I'm going to say in this PowerPoint, but maybe you all can like unmute yourself and say yes, so I can kind of hear how many, since we've got about 43 on the Zoom. How many of you have actually opened up ChatGPT?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've used it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So it's not foreign technology, which is great. And because of ChatGPT, they had 1 billion users in a month's time frame. They surpassed Google and Facebook and everybody else of the fastest growth ever. And there it is. It's AI. It's going to happen over and over and over again. And so a lot of people jumped on ChatGPT. How many of you are using ChatGPT 4.0?
I am.
Okay.
I believe I am too.
I see Anna. So we have a few people. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to get into that in a second. It is definitely one of the most well-known AI tools after Alexa. She's on my desk, Alexa. And that girl on my desk and I'm trying not to say her name or she's going to start talking with me, is we have a love-hate relationship. She loves to annoy the crap out of me and I love to hate her. Why? She's AI 1.0, right? So I'll ask her what the weather is and she plays country music. I'll ask her, hey, what's the score of a particular baseball game? And I get hard rap. And then I'll ask her something else and she's playing me, you know, that kind of music that they just yell in that my kids like that I can't handle. It gives me a migraine. I'm like, dude, I don't like any of that stuff. I like top 40 classic hits. That's it. And so she's defiant. And so I found that in the beginning, AI turned me off because of her and all the problems I was having, but it's not her fault. She was only trained up to a certain point, and I have not upgraded her to the newest model because I think she's going to end up in the lake sooner than later. But anyways, I am from Jersey. So there's a whole thing about free versus the paid for pro with ChatGPT, which is 4.0. The mistake many people make is they do the free 3.5 ChatGPT. The difference, and I'm going to show you here in a second and why, is that first of all, if there's too many people on ChatGPT, you're going to get knocked off and you can't keep doing what you're doing. You don't have the ability to create folders. You cannot make it talk in your voice. And it goes on and on and on. So I'm going to pop out of this for a minute. And I'm going to move over to my Chat GPT. And here we go. Okay, so this is my 4.0. I have a ton of folders I've created. I have other things that I've used in here. I did read something recently where it was that ChatGPT will replace Google as a search engine. So when you're using your ChatGPT, think about it as a search engine. And it is amazing, but it is also a problem solver. It will write you narratives for videos, or create you social media posts and give you different stock images. Sometimes you don't like one image, you got to tell them to make it another, but there's so many things this will do. I did try to get it to give me some stock predictions. I don't know if you can see it down here, but it said it was illegal. But I wanted to know what you could do with this thing. Like a kid, like how far can you take this? So, yeah, Anna? Anna, do you have your hand raised? Did you need something?
No, I don't. I'm so sorry. I had raised
Okay.
it when you were question. I guess it's gonna come down. I'm sorry.
No worries. I just wanted to make sure I should not stop. Okay. So one of the things with 4.0 is, and this is really the first reason why we all moved over there to the 4.0, is that we were able, oops, wrong one, sorry. We were able to go ahead and actually educate it to speak in our voice. So I didn't want it to then go and speak like a robot. I wanted it to speak like me, with the knowledge of me in there. So mine's going to be different than yours, right? Because there's only one of me and one of you. So yours is going to be different than mine. But the thing is that you can put in anything about you, put in the areas that you cover, what you cover. If you're a commercial agent and you specialize in automotive shops, put that in there. It's really important. If you're a residential agent and you prefer 55 and over properties and new construction are your two niches, tell it my two favorite niches are blah, blah, blah. And then you want to know and then you want to tell it how it's going to respond, because in the beginning, it was giving me some really wacky, long explanations. And I was like, nobody's going to read this. Once we were able to do this, and I was able to tell it how I wanted it, which is more like me, short and punchy. I'm tall, but my answers are usually short and punchy with responses. So I wanted it to be, clear but quick on some of these. Otherwise, this thing will write you a narrative. And then it'll frustrate you. So very important. So that is really, really, really cool. So then when I go into one of these and going in and just typing up a question, if you haven't taken the time to educate your Chat GPT, it's kind of like the thing that's sitting on my desk that I can't say that A word because she'll start talking again. But then you'll just get random things that come out of their mouth or their little computer brains. Instead, if you take the time to build out chains of prompts that then create the prompts, and you put in your questions, then what happens is you will change your whole game. It will be very, very, very impressive with what pops out. So I sat there, and I sat there for probably a good hour with all of these prompts. And then I asked them, some questions, and then I gave them more prompts and more prompts and more prompts and more prompts on this 55 and over neighborhood that I wanted to be, because I'm in Florida, right? We got a ton of 55 and overs. And so, anyways, I wanted to be able to then at any time ask it a question. And so we're going to do this. So now I don't have to put a bunch of prompts in. I can just tell it what I want because it's already pre-trained. Market self as an expert to all the local 55 plus. Please write me 5 Facebook posts Okay. There we go. And now, so I asked it, I told it I wanted to market myself as an expert in all the local 55 neighborhoods. Please write me 5 Facebook posts with images that I can use this week. And here it is, the text. And then it's giving me my image suggestions. So we can go to another AI to get the actual images if we wanted it. But you might have some on your computer. You might have something that you would rather use, maybe a closing at a 55 and over community or something, or one of your past listings if you're in one of these. So this one's going to actually create some images. So let's see what it's going to do. Look how fast. I have Monday to Friday. I have 5 posts and it's done. And the thing that we don't have are the hashtags. So now after it creates our images, we will go in and we'll grab the, now I definitely would not use that picture. That picture is ridiculous. No one's gonna call me with that one. So AI might create you something that you don't like. Then you have to explain what kind of image that you want, because that looks like they're going to their death. Instead of, and I'm 50 this year, so I definitely would not want to use that one. Yes.
It also screams AI, which I'm guessing you want to avoid.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to look at your stuff too. So this is actually a great example. So,
Oh, come on, Karina. What's wrong with walking towards the light?
yeah, right, exactly. That's
It's
what
better
AI
than the
thinks about
darkness, right, Tia?
And they don't look like 55 either. So anyways, show me an image. Oh. That there you go. So that's the one thing with AI is it only gives you what you give it. So I was not concise enough. So it really makes you learn to use your words. Like when you're a kid and you wanted something and you couldn't get that word out and you were like 3 years old and your mom's saying, use your words, use your words. This is that right now. We're back to 3 years old having to communicate and really focusing on our words, right? There we go, much better. How about that? That's a lot nicer, right? To sell a particular area. And you may still not like that picture. So then you might say, I'm just going to go to the internet and find something. And that's okay too. But it is definitely, you know, better than nothing. Or it might give you an idea. You might be like, I'm not using that one because that looks like they're walking to the light. But, you know, you can start looking on some of the different sites, Facebook pages or websites of some of the different communities. And maybe you put like a picture of one of their buildings or something, or their pool house or whatever. But it is definitely really nice to be able to have, you know, here it is, find peace of mind in a community where safety and security are paramount. It's a guard gated community and you cannot get in without like all sorts of IDs. 55 communities offer secure environments, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, that gives you different tailored living spaces, health and wellness, community events and social gatherings, embrace your dream retirement. So it gives you all these different things. And so you can do that for any listing. You just tell it that it's neighborhood. And usually I go in and I make sure that I go to like a website of that particular community. I'm not even talking 55 and over, any community, right? I might want to go sell in, I don't know, a neighborhood called Heritage Oaks, which is in West Melbourne. I would go over to Heritage Oaks, look up the website, get all the amenities, all the things the HOA does, pop it in there. Then I would say, don't answer till I ask you a question. Then I put all the amenities in there. And then I would tell it what I wanted it to create for me, whether it was an Instagram post or create hashtags to go my post. There you go. And it'll give you all the hashtags.
Karina, what if you use an age range rather than 55 plus?
Yeah, you could do that too. You can do anything you want. It's just that where I live, they just call them 55 plus communities. But you may be wanting to get to the higher a group of the baby boomers knowing that they're about to retire. Maybe they're done with their 55 plus communities and you want to be able to sell that home before they move on to maybe an assisted living or back with their kids or whatever is going on. You can whatever you tell it, it will do it.
Yeah, no, I meant in terms of the creating an image.
Oh yeah, you could totally do that. So tell me what you want me to say it. I'll do it right now on the fly.
Oh, like 55 to 65. Let's see what they look like.
Okay. They're probably going to look like Moses with a staff. An issue that shows 55 to
Jeff Johnston has some pretty good messages in the chat.
Okay, I'll jump onto his next.
It's his son, but it's okay.
Fun at the how about that? We'll see some 6-packs coming out. So while we're waiting on that to build out, let me see. And you can have a lot of fun with this. So yes, midjourney.com is another one. There's several and I have a couple others that I use, but for time being, I appreciate it, Jeff. Yeah, for right now, I was just trying to show some other, just a quick thing of what you could do real fast. But yes, you're absolutely right. There's several other ones, but okay, see, there's your 55 and over and to 65. So AI does not realize, do you know what I mean? So there's no way. So you would just have to scratch that one in this particular AI app, but you would go out to some of our other ones and we'll look at a couple others before we're finished. But yeah, so I wanted to show you, I have another one that I wanted to show you that's okay. So that's if you want to advertise yourself or you want to do, you want to create posts on a particular niche. That niche is obviously my 55 and over. I am looking for my, let's see here. Where did it go? I had it up and then I jumped into that one. Give me this listing. There we go. Okay. So we have the listing description. And so now we're going to go. Okay. Let's waiting for ChatGPT. All right. So here we go. So now we're going to go in and say, we're going to get a new listing. And I always go on the MLS first to see if it had been listed before. So I know what I'm working with and when was it sold? What does it have? What am I looking at? And I can quickly write a narrative because of it. So what I would do is I pulled this one up. This one's in Cocoa Beach, really pretty waterfront property. This is not my listing, but I was looking for something that we could have some fun with. So all I do literally is this. I copy the whole thing in the MLS. I hit Control-C because I'm going to copy it. I drop it in here and I say, please write. It likes the word please, by the way. Write me a some or will attract. I like the word attract in here so it understands what we're trying to do. And buyer with a credit score. I like the credit score part because it can go find it for you. It's credit score of no less than 7B and an income of per year. Post about each program and now along. So you see, it takes you a few minutes to actually really tell it what you want it. And maybe there's more that you want it to know, but that's what we're going to do on this one. Then I'm just going to hit Control-V and that now just put everything in there so it'll know. And now I'm going to submit it. And look at that. Is that not amazing?
That was lightning fast.
Very like, right? And it just knows. It probably can watch me what I'm doing on the internet too. So it may do that and we don't know it, but it still
Super
has it.
cool.
Isn't
and
that cool?
powerful.
Now it's giving me all this information. So now I can turn, that's too much for the MLS, right? My MLS requires me to have no more than 1,000 characters, including commas and, punctuation and spaces. So I am going to keep this because I can use a lot of this stuff for a video or a HeyGen video or whatever I want to do, or different posts. But now I'm going to tell it,
Karina, where did your, oh, there it is, your annual income of 500.
okay,
I see it now. Okay,
perfect. Yep. And then, and that we would not want that in our like whatever, but you can read, that's where you're reading. Like, you're not going to put you're not going to advertise that part of it.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
steering.
Right, exactly. But we want to try to, I wanted to actually write in more of an affluent way than, something I might sell for 200,000 that we might have to change the narrative a little different that way, only because it's just a different clientele. But we don't want to steer. We just are asking ChatGPT to write it at a higher level. Can you please rewrite, you're gonna like this, the narrative to fit in. Including spaces and punctuation. Oops. Grab that just on the fly writing. Here we go. And then we hit go and watch this. So you think you guys can handle that?
Wow.
Wow is right, right? Yep. And all I did was copy and paste it. But my AI bot's been trained to do all this, right? So it's really important. And part of that is the reason, if you really like this stuff and you want to take it to the next step, I will recommend going through the certification course, because it is an incredible training that you'll go so far with and you'll keep going. So, but let me get out of this one now. And I want to go over to Google. So Google used to be Bard.ai, and then Google decided nobody knew it was Google, so they changed the name. So now it is Gemini.google.com. The difference between Google.com, Gemini, and ChatGPT are a couple things. One is that you cannot make it speak in your voice. Two, ChatGPT was educated and stopped being educated in 2021. So if I'm doing like a brand new construction neighborhood or new area or something that they've just opened up, and I'm going to Google first, I'll try to see what ChatGPT can find on the internet, but sometimes they're just not equal, right? They're just now starting to they're starting to do their folders, because people were giving them backlash for not being able to save things, because you would write something in there, you'd close it out, or your computer would shut down on you, and then you lost everything you're working on. So that's a nice thing of it. The other thing is I was on a top producer panel speaking on Thursday, and the topic was, to do role playing with the realtors on how the market conditions. And so I did one in ChatGPT, then I went over and did it in over here in Gemini, and they were two totally different things. Then I wanted to show, I was sharing these PDFs that I had created. So I had all the stuff on ChatGPT, then I did the one on Google, and then finally I asked Gemini first. I said, write me 15 reasons why someone would want to do business with Karina Daninger. And if you don't know who I am, go out on the internet and look me up. I'm a realtor, blah, blah. I gave it like a whole bunch of stuff. I wrote a whole paragraph about it. And then it came back and it was like, I'd never seen it before. It was just blank. And it took it a couple minutes, literally a couple minutes, and it came back and said, I can't go out to the internet. You have to tell me what you want. And I was like, hot damn. So I went over to Chat GPT and I asked the same exact question. I literally copied and pasted it from Gemini to Chat GPT, and it wrote me like, I could write a book about myself now on what it gave me. And so there's some differences, right? So because some have different limitations than others. So if you find that you're not getting something in one, try the other. So watch this. Um, Okay, normally my spelling's not so atrocious, but when you're typing quickly on a Zoom, that's when it all happens. So anyways, here we go. We've got it, and last one, and then we'll just let it have it. So we're gonna ask if we're asking for an image. I want to use this on a Facebook post to sell.
Hey, I want to pause briefly to talk to you about your business and specifically your leads. I know volume was low. I've been in this business for 38 years. Volume is as low as it's been in the last 30 years. On our team, we have our own lead generating system. We don't only give you leads, we give you your own lead account. All these leads are yours. They go in your database, not in the team database. They go in your database, okay? All the sales, all the listings go in your name. They don't go into team, they go in your name. We have our own training programs to teach you how to invest and how to work with investors, and we coach you one-on-one. And here's the best part of all, our split is only 25%. You don't pay for anything out of pocket. Everything you get comes out of your low 25% split, and that's not even permanent. That's a temporary split. After a few transactions, you go to a 5% split. That's what you pay forever, and you still get all the coaching, the leads, the marketing, the training, everything you need. Okay, this is real, and it's happening right now. Click on the link below. It's in the email. If you're watching this through another platform, just go to globalinvestoragent.com. Scroll down till you see the join form and fill it out. Otherwise, it should be in the email that you're watching this from now. Okay, I look forward to talking to you. Don't wait. Think about what you're getting now and think about what I just told you. Think about what you've not been getting and think about what you could be getting. All right, just click on the link. We'll do a quick interview. I'll analyze your business and we'll see if this is a fit. I look forward to talking to you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so here we go. You ready? What it creates? I don't know what it is, so we're gonna see it for the first time together. Feels like
You're still typing better than I am.
I don't know. We'll see. I just anything but walking to the light would be great. St. Peter might come out.
Exactly.
Oh, look, we're working to improve. So now, so there's different ones. So we would definitely, it used to create me images, but there was a thing where people were getting upset about certain images, and because of crossing different ethnicities. And my feeling was some engineer, some programmer had a good old time programming that into the back end, and they're still cleaning up his code. That's why. So, I mean, it hit the news and everything. So, all right, we're not going to get that image. So I'll stop here on this one, but there's all sorts of things you can put in here, right? Right. How about this? right? How many people need someone to give them a lead right now, right? So, you know, sometimes you're like, I want to call them, but what am I going to say today? Right. So it's really neat to be able to put this in and then get, you know, some ideas, and not that you're going to read it, but if you look at it, then you might be like, oh, that's a great idea. Or you might do a Hey Gen thing and send it to them and then follow up with a phone call or whatever. But there's all sorts of things that you can do, but it's pretty neat to be able to go and just ask it for a quick script. Or I want to send out a letter to all my clients, which I did at the beginning of the year. And I did mine in Chat GPT. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. I wasn't planning on it, but let's do this real quick. I went to Chat GPT. I send out my calendars to all my past clients and current clients and Sphere and all that stuff, like a lot of people do. And I wanted to, I don't even know where to go on this. Let's see here. It would have been in real estate. And it would have been,
I saw that you wrote the words right now in capital.
yeah.
Does that make an impact on like
Yes, because I'm making it bigger. So like I'm telling it I'm creating urgency that way. And so I did this. This was the letter. I literally gave it Chat GPT a couple minutes and it created everything. It put my information over here, and it didn't have my logo, obviously. And then I flip-flopped it. Everything I read, there was nothing for me to change. It was perfect. It was the first time I had gotten something where I didn't have to change a single thing. I sent it out with, I sent out like close to 1,000 of these with all my calendar magnets. And I picked up like 7 listing and buyer opportunities from it, just because of a very nice written letter. They always get one from me anyways. And I'm a good writer. I'm a good copywriter. I always have been, even as a kid. But this was so fast. By the time it spit it out, like I'm telling my assistant in the other room, I'm like, get in here, come look at this. It's already done. And then we were like, oh my gosh. And it took us way longer to start filling up all those envelopes and slapping the labels on them and stamps than it did just getting this pumped out again. So there's so many things you can use AI for, and with it. And that's just the Chat GPT thing. So let me just jump back, because we're still a little bit into this. So Claude is another one. Claude is also very good at creating images, but maybe from what's happened, and you can see it still says Bard over here. I thought I fixed it. It is Gemini.google. And so what will happen is that we may have to wait. If there's this whole thing going on about the images and offending people, they may have all kind of pulled them back a little bit. YouTube, Google business pages, there's all sorts of things that you can use so you can post on all these places. You can, if Google, does SEO, right? You can do SEO with ChatGPT. I also, if I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel, I'm going to Gemini first to ask it for to help me with that stuff, because I feel like maybe Google gives you a little leg up. Maybe, I don't know. Nobody knows yet, but I always go to the Gemini first when I want to know SEO stuff that's going to go out to like YouTube, because they're all Google's products, right? All right, so we're going to move past that one. Synthesia is the original AI bots that we were using in the class. And so you couldn't do one of yourself. And you had to have we were told you had to have an assistant AI bot. And some people were going so crazy with it that they were literally like doing team photos and dropping in their AI bot with their team photos when they would send things out to their clients. It was pretty hilarious. So I'm only going to play this one, and it's really quick, but it's funny. And this is what we had to start with. Now we don't use this at all. I had paid for the year for Synthesia, and I only really used it for about 2.5 months. I plays more now that I do these presentations than anything else, which is hilarious.
Hi, I am Karina's assistant. There are unlimited opportunities and ways you can leverage me in your business.
Are you tired of answering the same questions with different buyers and sellers? Create short videos to send to them covering the various topics. They will watch more than read your emails anyways. You can create a short series of information that will have your phone ringing off the hook. This is great for social media shorts. My gift to you is for those who are afraid of getting in front of the camera. Let your AI assistant do the talking. You can have different AI assistants for different tasks. Alexi is the one I typically use. You can have them do various gestures when speaking. The best part of using AI bots is that they just get the job done, leaving you more time to build more content bigger, better, and faster, attracting more clients and making more money. What are you waiting for? Just do it.
So HeyGen also has AI bots that you can use. So you can intertwine yourself. You can use an AI bot. You can get one of your kids to do a video for you, and they could be your AI bot. There's all sorts of things that you can do. But the AI bots, like the ones that I just showed you, they're, you know, their clothes always stay the same. So they always look the same. So the question earlier was, do I always do it in the same shirt? The answer was no, because we have now that ability. So because I paid for Synthesia up front, and it's a great little product, right? But I was able to go get a credit for get some of a credit back from them because I told them I just wasn't using it anymore. I didn't tell them I was using a whole nother product. I just told them I wasn't using it anymore, and they did. But I have another one that did not want to reimburse. So that's one of the lessons learned. Don't pay for the year. It's a little bit more monthly, but chances are you might not be using that one by the end of the year because how fast things are changing. Merlin is something that you guys definitely, you can take a screenshot of this so you can see it. I definitely highly recommend putting Merlin on. This is a very cool gift I'm giving you right now. It's free. It's a Chrome extension. You can also get it for Apple phones and Google phones, either at your Apple Play Store or the Google Store. And you can actually use it on your cell phone. What it is it'll sit in your email. If you go out to YouTube, you'll see this little, it looks like a little marshmallow making a scrunchy face. What it does is if you're on YouTube, you can actually ask it to summarize a YouTube video. So if you really want to go watch a YouTube video, but you just can't squeeze it in today, but you really needed that information, you ask it to summarize it for you. And in literally seconds, you will have the summary of that video. You can have it reply to emails. You can have it reply to social media. If you're on Facebook and you're like, I really want to say something nice here, but I just don't want to be like, yeah, that's great, congratulations. You can tell it, it'll ask you, like, do you want to say something encouraging or inspirational, or do you want to whatever? It gives you like multiple options. And then anytime I've done that, and just to test it out, oh my gosh, everybody's like raving over that response, whoever I wrote to, and it's a whole feel good thing. So you get too many spams in your email and you want to tell someone to go away, it'll do that for you too, in a nicer way than maybe you would have done it, but it will do it. If you have one of those hard emails where you're like, I don't even know how I'm going to reply to this, you can ask it to reply and you can look at it, and it will definitely take the emotion out of it. And then you can look through it and like it, not like it, edit it a little bit, but it might help you get your head on straight when you have to reply to that particular email. We've had people in our group that did that, and they were like, thank God for Merlin. So Merlin is free. So definitely you want to leverage Merlin. Okay. So there's a few more. There's a lot of products that we use. Opus Clip is another one. That one's great. If you do long videos like I do with those walkthrough narratives, you can upload it into Opus Clip, one video, and it'll break it down to 10 videos that I can put on like Instagram and short reels and Facebook reels and everywhere else that has reels. And it's boom, boom, boom. If you pay Opus Clip I pay for the cheapest one versus the free one, because the free one will say Opus Clip all over your videos, where the next level up it will not. So that one, I do pay for that one. I pay for Jude AI, which sits on top of ChatGPT. So you have to be careful. I like Jude AI, by the way, but and I really do get like some really good images out of that one. However, in fact, this image here came from Jude AI. And so the thing is that a lot of companies are selling products really expensive, and all they are is a fancy front end on top of ChatGPT. So watch what you're buying into, try to use the other stuff first, and then kind of start working your way up. Canva has AI. So if you're using Canva, I love the AI piece of it on the back end. That one's phenomenal. Beautiful.ai and slides.ai are both, they're basically Google's PowerPoints, right? And that you can download into PowerPoint. I have a love-hate relationship with both of them. I think they have cool images, but if that's really the only benefit I'm getting from them, then I don't really need them. I can just do it in regular PowerPoint and then go grab my images off of like a Jude AI or some of the other ones. We were using Microsoft Designer for a long time before Canva AI came out, and then we dropped Microsoft Designer and went to Canva AI. Now, if you are overwhelmed with Canva because it's very big and heavy, go to Microsoft Designer. You can go to ChatGPT, tell it to write you your 5 posts, go over to Microsoft Designer, and it'll create you, you can make your post right there in it, and with different parameters and stuff, but it's not hard to use. I think that one's probably easier than Canva if you're a little tech challenged and you want to do something. So, all right, so there's a lot to learn in AI, and even a little bit is a lot, right? If you're using ChatGPT and you're starting to feel good about it, but then knowing now what you've seen, that you can really educate and get so much more out of it, then it's, I can't get into it today, but I had a couple listings that were stuck because of partially the market and partially because neither one of them happens to have a garage, which never was a problem before. But now that our inventory is going up, they're getting missed. And I figured out a way to reverse engineer my own listings using AI and getting it to actually scrub it and figure out why it wasn't selling. The one that we knew that was overpriced and the seller refused to come down more than $1,000 because they've been sitting so long, they've missed the market, right? Because we were okay when we listed, but then it quickly turned into interest rates going up like crazy and everything kind of slowing down a little bit. And that one, actually, the first words it said was it was overpriced. And we just kind of laughed that it actually realized it. But then it gave us like a list of like 20 other things that we needed to consider with the market changes. So it was really cool to take that back to the seller. And I ended up presenting this back to the AI Society, which is the same. They have that after, you can join that if you want to, after you go through the certification. And then we meet twice a week. And we learn, they continue to teach us more technologies and more ways of doing things. So for me, I didn't want to just end my education after the AI certification. I wanted to keep going because I knew that'd be great, but things were changing too fast. So for me, that was important to me. So you don't want to get left behind. The whole thing is AI, like I said in the beginning, is here to stay. And the sooner you start learning AI and using AI on a regular basis, then what's going to happen is you'll be used to it and you'll be able to make the shift every time something new, the new technologies come out. Think back to, for the people that are, over 30, that when we were getting those, our real first computers, not the ones that came out in the 80s. I had, my Commodore 64 too, but that one doesn't really count. I'm talking about like 1994 to 1997, right? That era is when people were really bringing home the Microsoft computers, or Apple was starting to take off again, and we were all really using computers regularly and actually getting into the internet. And so for a lot of people, they didn't grab them right away and they had a hard time. My dad was not, he's only 73 now. So back then I remember getting him a computer, trying to say, hey, Dad, because he was selling insurance. I said, you need to use the computer. Well, when he was working for Aflac, before the Duck was with Aflac, they made him use an electronic signature with a computer. He had such a hard time with that because he did not embrace it when it was at its infancy stage. So AI is going to be so much faster moving than that. and the technology. So it is important because the realtors that do run with AI will have that advantage over the ones that don't. And what I mean is, look how fast I created my narrative. While you're still sitting there trying to figure out what I'm going to write, it's already slapped into my listing. I've already checked everything off. My assistant's finishing it and I'm out the door going to meet my next customer, right? So while that's all going into play, all my marketing's done in a matter of 5 minutes, and I'm setting it up on my calendar when I'm going to release each piece, and off we go. So it's really important to differentiate yourself. And I know I keep saying that, but we're in such a wacky time in our real estate careers with everything going on and the high interest rates and NAR and everything else. You have to stand out somehow. And for me, it was leveraging my AI certification, because people ask all the time, what does that mean? And then I say, well, I would love to come over to your house and show you what I can do for you. And they're like, yeah, come on over. Because now they're not even worried. I'm not even saying I want to list your house. I just want to show you what I could do for you. And the next thing you know, I'm walking out of there and they've already agreed to list, and they didn't even know they were going to list right now. And so, and I'm not high pressuring them. It's just through conversation and watching what's happening. So I wasn't sure when I went and got the certification. I knew I was excited about it, but I wasn't sure how the general public would perceive this, right? So I put it up on my Facebook page. My personal page has a lot of followers. And so I got within a matter of like a half a day, we had 216 comments, all talking about AI, not just realtors, but the general public, like people that just knew me from either social media or used to work with me somewhere else or was a neighbor or whatever. It's 2 people actually shared it. I was like, dang, people are promoting me because I'm AI certified. Like, that was crazy. And it turned into multiple opportunities, like crazy amount of opportunities. I got an email today. I sent out an email shortly after this post to everybody in my database. And I had gotten a lot of people reaching out and also picked up opportunities that way. But today, this morning, I opened up my email and someone replied back to that email from last fall today, and I will be listing their house. And I sold them their house 2 years ago as new construction. So it's amazing. Sometimes you think people aren't getting your emails. They are. Now, is it worthy of them keeping or deleting, right? So your content has to be worth them saying, wow, that's cool, I want to keep it, right? So think about that when you're creating your emails to your database. Is this something that I would want to keep and save for later if I'm not ready right now? Or is this something that was like, okay, that's nice, I heard from Mary, and delete, right? So think about how you're presenting what you're putting in the email. And I had AI certified agent all over that email, by the way. And I told them I did pass that certification and here's what it will mean. And so they definitely hung on to it. And he's a tech guy for one of the Mill Aerospaces here in town that works with the space program. So I knew he definitely found that interesting to him to keep, that someone was doing that. So I'm just going to real quick, because everybody always wants to know. So I created a slide on my last time because I'm always asked these questions. What was my experience like going through the AI certification for real estate agents? And so I already talked to you about it needing to be educated. Nick Cram actually leads a really action-packed course for an entire week. It is something that you can still sell real estate and work in between. You end up getting some videos that you have to watch and homework to do. And then in that evening, he brings you on all 5 days, Monday to Friday. You'll be on a Zoom call for an hour and he goes over and answers questions. And if you have a hard time, they have another gentleman that's our tech guru. I actually think he's an AI bot trapped in a human body because he's so intelligent when it comes to fixing your problems. But he will set you up with a calendar invite. The next day you're on it, he's fixing whatever problems you have and off you go again. And so, because it's a learning curve, right? Anytime you learn new tech. And so, so it's great. And more and more people now, I hear different coaches are going around teaching AI. So there's a lot of people doing it, but these guys really teach you how to educate, and they give you the stuff to educate your ChatGPT or how to use the different products, and you will come out an expert like I did. I mean, who would have guessed that I would have taken that course and started, people were asking me about it, that from that original post is how this presentations started. People started asking me, can you show us what AI can do for us? And that's how all this began. So, and like I said, once you graduate, if you want to continue on with your learning and education and staying on top, they have something called the AI Society, and he'll talk to you guys about that. And if you want to, you can join it. If not, you don't have to. I did because like I said, I wanted to stay on the cutting edge at all times. And then, and it's a really cool area. It's a really cool, we're all realtors from all different backgrounds, all different brokerages, and we are all collaborating and helping each other all the time. We have a little spot where we can put our wins, or if we're stuck on something, or what do you think of this post, or what do you think of this image, right? I'm thinking about using this for this. Everybody writes in and talks to you about it, or loves it, or hates it, or, hey, I really like that. Where are you going to post? How are you going to send that out, or whatever? So it's a really neat environment. It's unlike anything else I've ever been in. And so that's really the biggest thing on that. So
what's the name of the course?
Oh, it's right here. Yep.
What?
Here's the link right here. And I'm going to send this out to you. I'll put this in the chat if that's, and then you guys can look it up too on your own later. But this will give you, Nick is running a discount right now for me, because I told him I was coming out here. So, so you guys would qualify for that discount, because it's you guys.
Thank you, because it's $19.97.
Yep.
Right now.
Yep, that's the norm. Yep, so that there should be a discount on this one. So
thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And then, but it's worth it. Listen, you go, even if you had to pay the $2,000 like I did to go through this program, and he's now rolled out 2.0. So we've been on the society, we've been educated on the advanced stuff. And so we're still good to go, but the new one now is 2.0, because the technology has changed since last year's trainings that he did. So it's great that they're keeping their course up to date. They didn't just set it and leave it for the rest of the next 3 or 4 years. So I really like that about them. And they are amazing. It is a great course. But, you know, this is, you know, if most realtors work 60+ hours a week, if you're a full-time agent, and with more time to talk to your clients, meet with your past and current clients, go to networking events, attend more training classes, all while knocking out all your listings, advertising, social media posts, new everything, right? It takes me less than 10 to 15 hours a week. And I'm a high producer. So I do a lot. I'm a high volume girl. So I always have been. So this is, and I sell commercial and residential. So I'm on both sides of that alley. So this is helped me drastically be able to get more time for me sometimes, right? That's the thing that we always miss out. When do we get time for me? And the answer is, I don't know. I'm driving all over the dang county this week. I'm driving here. I'm going there. I'm running these people over here. And so this will, if you do it right and you work your calendar right, you can now start getting yourself some time that you need to do whatever, whether it's write a book or go to the beach or just breathe, right? That's the one thing I think everybody needs to do right now is breathe. And this will give you that opportunity. So don't ask what you can do for your real estate business. Ask AI what it can do to take your real estate business to the next level. But it is a learning curve. So you will get a little frustrated as you're learning. But the thing is, and I'm going to tell you right now, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's kind of a pain in the butt in the beginning. You're like, oh, I'm never going to get this. And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, you're like zooming through whatever you're doing. And you're like, dang, it wasn't that hard. You just have to learn it like anything else, right? So you got to fall off that bike a couple times, scrape up your knees, and then figure it out. And you will. And with the training course, they do hold your hand, a very big part of it. And the public is very aware of AI, especially if they're watching the stock market right now. They are all over AI, right? Like that's like the biggest talk that are on the stock market news channels. That's all that's on in my house, because that's what my fiance listens to. He's an attorney, but he likes to day trade at the same time. I don't know what he does, but I can constantly hear it in the other room. And then I'll walk in and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's where their stock is already. And really, so it is crazy. So people know now what you need to do is market to your people how you're using it to help them if they're your customer, and they will pop up. Some people raise their hand right away, others won't. That's okay, they'll come around, or they're not ready for you yet. So but the bulk of them will definitely be reaching out to you. And that's where having your CRM, and don't wait to get educated on AI because your CRM's a hot mess, because your CRM will still be a hot mess a year from now if you just procrastinate. Go learn your AI, because it will give you the inspiration to go clean that hot mess out, because you're going to want to get this stuff out. It will help you do that. So that's it for me. I'll have PF, I'll reach out to them tomorrow and find out, and then I will send over a new link over to you guys, so you guys will get it at that point.
Hey, Karina, Anna's asking the level of education. Is it like beginner, intermediate, advanced with the crems?
Oh, they start at very beginner. I mean, you have to know how to turn a computer on and get to the internet and watch a video and use copy and paste and just follow instructions, and then hop on a Zoom call at night. And if there is a problem where you're not catching something, because it's easy to do. I think out of the 5 days I needed help, I had to reach out to Chad for a calendar invite one time. And as soon as he saw what I was doing, he's like, oh, no, you got to do it this way. And he fixes it. So even if you do struggle, there is help. And I'm not selling the whole AI thing, but this is the whole reason why everybody asked me to come do this. So I've left this piece in the presentation, because then they're like, well, can you come teach us? And I'm like, no, I'm busy selling software. So sometimes I think I'm selling software, real estate. And so, and I have a team and everybody else, but this will definitely give you the leg up on that. And most realtors have not even begun their, did everybody get, I put the code in there. So I'll call them tomorrow and find out what's going on with that, but I'm going to just stop sharing my screen. I just feel like if you go out there and in this market space can start really communicating things all over your socials and also on your emails and the people you're talking to, and the more you're using the AI products, the more you're going to freely talk about it, the more you'll stand out amongst the pool of people around you in your area. And it's okay if there's other people in your area getting AI certified, because I was the first one, and now we have, several in my county, because I want them to go get AI certified. I think it's more fun when we get people that can collaborate with me in the same area, or we can go do something together. I've had one agent reach out to me and she said, hey, I have a listing appointment and and she had just come out of her AI certification, and she said, can you come with me? I've never done a listing appointment because nobody ever showed me how. I don't know what to do. And so I gave her the crux of what she was going to do. I said, you're going to have to do the listing appointment, but I'll be there to do the dog and pony show with the AI stuff, but you're going to take the listing. She goes, well, can I give you half of the commission? I'm like, no, I want you to get your first listing. Let's go. So it's nice and then she got it. And she was so over the top. That's a win for me. I don't need her commission. She needs her first listing, right? So it's nice when we can give back to other people in our area. That helps them too, because you lead by contribution, everything else follows. I see hands are up. So let me go to Anna. Do you still have a question, Anna? Okay, nope.
I do, yes. Thank you so much for calling on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. I was just wondering, so I've been playing around with AI from at least for a few months. I have subscriptions to a lot of the tools that you mentioned. What would you say that I would get bored with this program, or do you feel like it does go really advanced?
Oh my God, you will not be bored. because
Really?
it's easy
Okay.
to be able to move your mouse and copy and paste.
Uh-huh.
I would think that there's going to be a lot of stuff, even if you're using certain products, that you're going to go, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I should do that. You know what I mean? Oh, that's something else I can do with it. So it's going to open, it will definitely expand what you're doing to another level.
Yeah, awesome. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And the program contribution or the investment, is that for a year? Or because you mentioned that you're also part of a post-program group. Is that to maintain? Is that basically a maintenance type of group that you're in?
Kind of, sort of. So you get your certification, and now you can go run around, and you never have to go back to the CREM Institute again if you don't want to. I don't recommend that, but and they send out an email to the people that all went through AI before and told them, hey, we've got these extra things that we want you to do if you would like to get to the 2.0. And so they did share it back out to them. But more importantly, the AI Society is a very big group of us that we all collaborate. They rolled out the HeyGen avatars to us first to actually beta test. We had the CEO himself, the founder of this company, actually talk to us and has come back and listened to some of our additional questions. I wrote into them saying, hey, it'd be a very nice thing to have, because they do like a training every Thursday online out to the general public. And there's so much stuff that they go over, but it's hard to find like what you're looking for, the way they name their videos that they're doing their trainings on. So I recommended that they do like some sort of like document that would like point you to what you were trying to do. So if I something searchable, right? And they're actually in the process of making it. So, and I said, because we're all educated, we all use it, but we don't know half the abilities. I mean, can my page do a cartwheel? It might, I don't know, because I can't watch every video they put out there. But if I'm looking to do something in one of my avatars, I would love to be able to go search it out. Like, could I sit down while I'm, standing up or whatever? There's all sorts of things that you can do. And so they actually listen, because they know we come from the CREM Institute, and they know that we're being heavily trained on a lot of products. So that is something, a bonus that you can do. There's another fee for that one. But then you're there all year, and they're rolling out all sorts of extra products. We have 2 different trainings a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday is more of the training of running it in your business, and Wednesdays is more of on a tech piece. So they actually help us with creating marketing that we send out to all our customers, when to send it out. Like, they're really, it's a dynamic thing. Did I lose you?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay, what other questions do we have? I think, is that PF, do you have another question?
I had an unrelated question.
Okay.
Just like I don't know if you ever tried creating an account with ChatGPT that was paid and then decided to not pay for it anymore, and then did it keep all of your records? That's
No,
kind of like
I've always paid
unrelated.
So I would be too scared to lose all that stuff, because I have hours, hundreds of hours on all those folders. I have a backup credit card, I think, up there, just in case something happens. That one gets, I don't know. I think it's because my credit card never stops being spent on. It's like worse than going to Vegas, hearing that ding, 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 ding on my business card. And so, so I have a backup just in case it's either in the process of getting paid off again, or someone's like, hey, I just did like a $11,000 newsletter mailing, so now I got to go make sure there's more room for the next thing that we're doing, or this one's hitting it. So yeah, no, but I do have a backup credit card, because I don't want to lose my stuff.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking of asking, but I didn't think of asking it that way.
Yeah, and it's not very expensive for the I think it's a personal card I have for a backup, because I purposely only have one business card for accounting purposes, and it makes my bookkeeper happy.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Gary, do you have a question?
I think everybody's okay here. I really appreciate you doing this, and I've never met Krem before, but I've heard him a lot.
Oh yeah, and
So,
he's great. And I can talk to him too if at some point you guys want him to come out here to chat with you guys. I'm sure he would. I have to find out when he's not teaching a class in the evenings. Like that's in the evenings is when he goes over everything with everybody, so he can hit the the 3 time zones. But it's all good. Yeah.
Well, I definitely see it as a game changer. This is going to sound crazy, but back when I was studying computer science, and this was a long time ago, we actually were already developing AI, but nothing like what we're seeing today. So it's not anything. Some people are fearful of it. Like you hear all this stuff on TV, whatever, my gosh, the world's going to come to an end. But just like anything in life, guys, it can be used for good or evil. It's up to you. In our case, it's used for good, and it will save you a ton of time. I mean, we're already using it, Karina. On my team, I've got 5 employees, operations people, and they use it already. They've been using it for about a year in some of our internal work, working on blogs and podcasts and things like that, where there's a lot of repeat things and things we need some copy written on. And so we're already familiar with it. So I definitely endorse it. And we have agents on the team that are using it too. And I just think going forward, everybody should embrace it to at least some level, because if you don't, I'm telling you guys that it's going to leave you behind, you'll very quickly too,
One of the things they teach in the AI course is they have a product that they know of that will show you how to do your own virtual staging. So if you had, and you can remove furniture out of the pictures, you can put them, and then it gives you 12 different types of styles: country, modern, beachy, whatever. And so you could have 12 different ways you show customers what your house would look like, because a lot of people they don't have the vision, right, of what they're gonna that's why people stage. They don't even know where to hang the freaking TV up when they walk into an empty room. And so this really, I was paying a photographer, because so many of our houses are empty down here because people are building them and then they change their mind and then we sell them as soon as they close. And so it cost me like $500 for her to do a custom staging, and she probably used the same product, right? And you can do it for next to nothing once you get trained on it. And it is something you want to sit through the training on that one. That one's a little like goofy. So you definitely, and it's great because they have the instructions on how to do it. But that's another great one that they teach you how to use, which everything that they teach you at that Creme Society is all based on you selling real estate, whether it's to a buyer or to a seller. And that's the part that I loved.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I just saw Bonetta has a question. Bonetta, if you're still on. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Bonetta.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Karina. How are you? I don't know where my phone is. I don't see my whatever.
Okay.
So, Karina, this was awesome. Let me just say that right off the bat. This was awesome. I do use AI to write my descriptions and all of that, and rewrite some descriptions and that sort of thing. So I love AI. But you have introduced me to some stuff that I didn't even know existed. And I'm one of those camera shy people. So this was really awesome for me. But one of the things you mentioned is that you can teach the AI about the prompts. Is that something that you can tell us, or will we need to go through the class in order to do that?
So I did not create those chains. So they're called chains, which means there's a bunch of prompts that sew together to make that chain, and then you build another chain and so on. And Creme will actually give you all of those. There's a lot. There's like, you might put like 15 or 20 in, and each time you got to hit enter. It tells you like how to keep going through it. But by the time you're done, then you're like, oh, and then more of the ones that they give you, then you're like, oh, I could create one of those for this. I could create something like that, because then I go back to what they gave me and I change the subject and maybe a couple other words, and then I still use their same chains. It's just now it's being used for something totally different than what they had initially started with. But the more chains of prompts that you can put together to educate, that's how a lot of these companies are creating bots, right? Like some people have like a YouTube bot that they're selling for big bucks. You don't need to spend that money. Just learn how to actually do these chains and create your own, and like we did, and boom, you'll be out the door. And you can do it for all sorts of things, real estate, not real estate, whatever. This really makes you understand, because they teach you like, okay, on this one, we want you to change it. You have an option to pick these 9 different things to intertwine into it, and you'll see how you're getting different responses. It's really eye-opening, and it is really an education. And I know, as good as I am on technology, I would have never known to do 90% of the stuff that we learned in class, because they spent the time to really go learn it ahead of time, realizing there was going to be a need. So it was really cool. But yes, it is definitely something you could do. But I guess the end of the day, if you can go to school, you'll make out so much better, because it's not just, hey, Jen and ChatGPT and a staging thing. There's so much more they're going to give you as an arsenal in your back pocket, that one sale or a couple small rentals will pay for class. And that's how I looked at it when I went. I was like, I just need one good sale and it's all profit. And if I don't, then I'm not using it right, or I'm not using it right. A lot of people go to school to any kind of class or certification and then walk out and go back to what they were doing before they went, like they never went to the school anyways, or to a class. And so it is really important that you use it if you go, because the only way you're going to get your money back is to use it. It is one of those things that's not going to work on its own if you're not using it. So that's my biggest advice. And you really should be using it, because that's where our world is.
So how do you use it at a listing appointment?
So I bring my laptop with me, and first of all, I'm going to look and see if their house was already listed before in the MLS. So I'll go out there. If not, I'll go check and see if they have it listed or was listed on a Zillow.com, for sale by owner. And if I can find anything like that, then I will go ahead and bookmark it or download it into a Word document, so I have it on hand when I'm there. I use my cell phone to hotspot, or sometimes I ask them, hey, for me to do this today, my phone might be kind of low on battery because I didn't manage it right that day. I'll say, I'm going to need to get onto your Wi-Fi. I'll just fit in my computer to you if you can just log in for me, and then we can turn it off, and I can, we don't have to have it remember it next time. And they never have a problem with that. I do that for all my Facebook Live videos, because I found that I was like getting tossed off Facebook Live when I was doing all those house tours, that now it's one of those things before they leave, after I get there, I'm like, you need to hook me up to your Wi-Fi so I can do this video. And they do. There's never a problem. But people are funny about their passwords, right? So one password might be everything down to like, their offshore accounts. So I never ask for that. I just turn it over to them and let them punch that in. But yeah, no, I just I'll pull out, I usually just show them ChatGPT, and then I'll pull up some social media sites of mine, and I'll show them some AI stuff that I've done out there for other clients' properties. And I get them to sit there and watch it, and they're wowed. So the ChatGPT part is really impressive for them, especially if you're like, I've trained it to talk in my voice, and I can do this and I can do that. And then, hey, let me show you what we could do with your house if you decide to hire me today to list your home. And then I kind of do what I did for you guys, where I just showed them how I copied and pasted it. I literally show them how I copy and paste it, and then I pop it in there. Because even if another realtor comes in after you, which probably not if you do it this way, they are not going to be able to do what you did, because they're going to be like, they did what? How they do that? What did they get it? You know what I mean? Like they're without seeing it first-handed. If someone tries to go tell someone else, another homeowner that hasn't been educated in all this AI, they're not going to be able to articulate all your steps. And even if they could, chances are the person coming in is probably using 3.5, or even if they are educated, it's not going to give them the same answers, because we're telling it to do different things. So, but even if they do, it wouldn't matter, because by the time I walk out of there, they've already agreed to hire me anyways, right? So the whole idea is to make them have a fear of loss, that if they don't hire you, nobody else is going to be able to do what you can do, right? That's the idea. Anytime you go meet with a customer, you are the very best person possible, whether it's to represent that buyer or the seller, or both, or whatever it is. And so when you do that, and you get to do a little dog and pony show that nobody else is doing, and you're an AI certified agent, which everybody thinks is like, oh, right. And then because nobody else is talking about it, that just really helps you win that. Yeah. Hey, Diane, I thought there was one on that one. I will be reaching out to Creme AI tomorrow to find out. I thought there was a discount code that they were running. So I'll let you know. I'll send it to Gary. I'll send him an email tomorrow what I find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So did that help you at all, Bonetta?
Yes, that did. I was taking notes while you were talking.
Okay.
So
Good.
I said that if you could write a script, show them the avatar, show them
your marketing that you're going to create. And then, yeah, and say, here's my 5 Facebook video posts. Here's my 5 Instagram posts. Here's my 5, and make them different. Here's my 5 LinkedIn posts. And I'm going to do a video and I'll be able to put it on YouTube and Facebook Live. And then I'm going to have a bunch of reels made out of it. And so that it's because the more you post, the more you sell. The faster people see it, the more people see it, the more people are attracted to you, the bigger following you have, the faster things get shared around and your phone's ringing. So to the customer, right, Vanetta, to that point is if I don't have to spend 3 weeks setting all this stuff up, then I can be working on finding you a buyer for your house than sitting there making all my advertising. I even get it to create my postcards, and then my assistant pops it together, sends it to the company that we use, and off it goes. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Diane, Todd, if you could do me a favor, let me know if you got emails from me. I think it was last month. You were in class one night and we created a file of leads for you. And I think I sent some other additional marketing. I don't know if I heard anything back, and that's okay. You don't have to respond. I just want to make sure you got the emails. If you can let me know that, Diane, that would be awesome. Just type in the chat box. Or you could email me, gary@rewbw.com. So, hey guys, any final questions? Thoughts?
And I'm not a salesperson for Creme AI. I just want to put that out there. This is just my experience. Yeah. So, and really to help the realtor community, I noticed when I came in to real estate was kind of slow as a whole, not everybody, right? But as a whole, was slow to embrace different technologies, as they were actually, for me, they were kind of old school tech, and they were just starting to get to certain things like CRMs. Like nobody was using CRMs very much, but there wasn't many choices. It was like salesforce.com, which wasn't really made for realtors or whatever, but it was better than a spreadsheet like half my office had, right? Or whatever. So I have been trying to be a voice for the realtor community to, stay awake while behind the wheel of technologies changing under our feet, so we're not left behind.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you doing this. I mean, guys, it just, remember, Karina's not even in her organization. She's in a different line in EXP. So for her to do this is, to me, it's a wonderful gift, but it also exemplifies just the way we share. I mean, we constantly share. And like today, I've got interviewed by Glenn Sanford on the Icon podcast. Yeah. And it's just another example. I mean, how many people get to actually meet with their CEOs? And I've met them before. It wasn't the first time. But that subject came up, and I said I'm just blown away by the fact that I'm getting support from people that have no financial incentive to support me. But we've been growing at a very rapid pace. He was shocked. He didn't know that we were in 38 states. He said, "You mean you're down?" I said, No. Our production team is in 38 states. And then he wanted me to explain how we do it. So I told everybody how do we actually do this? How do we pull this off? And you know what it is? It's all the people on the call tonight. I'm telling you that the agents on the team that engage are the ones that produce. The ones we never see, well, we never see them in reports or otherwise. And you just have to engage. You just have to keep coming to class and meet people like Karina, guys. So if you guys wouldn't mind, give her a big pat on the back, do a hand raise or say thank you in the chat box. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I did post an attachment in there for anyone who wants to pull it down. That's the thing that I created last week on the fly while sitting on the top producer panel and came up with the scripts and stuff with ChatGPT and Google and everything else. So you guys can you'll see the difference. It was ChatGPT first and then Google AI in between each thing. And then I rotated each question. So you'll kind of follow along. Thank you, Michael, for introducing me to Gary. I'm glad I was able to come on. And thank you to Michael for pulling this together.
Yeah, well, I'll be out there as the Space Coast. I'm usually out there every couple of years. My first job was with NASA on a space shuttle project. So I've been able to go to, I was at Langley Air Force Base, but I've been to Houston, of course, I've been to Cape Canaveral, and then, I know, my friend Socrates was right down the coast from me in Port St. Lucie. And I texted him over the weekend because we had a giant get together with all the old guys in our dorm rooms the freshman year, and he was part of that. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of these winky deep things going on lately. And so when the owl showed up today, I'm like, it was awesome. It's been the best day. By the way, I looked it up, Karen, and the good news is there's more good news about seeing an owl than there is bad news. It's other cultures that think it's a bad thing, but
oh, that's what I
it's been a great
said.
thing.
In some cultures, I didn't say it was all bad. I just said there are some cultures.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
I'm happy worried
see
for a
it as-
second. They go, no.
see it as no, that see it as an omen, but no, not I
Yeah.
mean not everything. And plus, you have to first of all, you got to believe it too. So
Yeah. Well, I do. Because you know what it said when I read it? It said all the people that I teach are going to be extremely successful this year. That's what it said because I saw it out. Okay, guys, I'm going to go spend time with my mom. You guys have an awesome week. Karina, thank you again for doing this. I can't wait to meet you in person sometime. And, if anything I can ever do for you, you just let me know. I mean, we got a great team here. I'm sure you can gather that.
Oh yeah,
And,
you have a phenomenal team. And I thank you all for spending some extra time with me tonight too, because I know it got late. So thank you. And thank you, Gary. And I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
everything.
Thanks,
Karina. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you. Have a great night.
And thanks again, Mike. Appreciate the introduction. And you guys take care. Set up your one-on-ones, guys. Seriously, there's some blank spots here. You know me, I like staying busy. So set up your one-on-ones, and we'll see you also next Monday night. No, wait a minute. Ooh, no class next Monday night. We're gonna use that to celebrate Easter. So there's no class next Monday night. So we'll see you on the 8th. And Bonetta, are you still on, Bonetta?
I am.
Can you teach Monday night, the 8th of April? Your whole buyer presentation?
I heard I was already on the schedule.
Yep. Well, I didn't know if we had a date picked, but that's the date. I wanted to make sure that was okay with you.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Okay. By the way, who knows what's so special about April the 8th this year? Something really special is going to happen.
Solar
Well, that's
eclipse.
special too.
Solar eclipse.
Solar eclipse. Yeah. Complete, total solar eclipse. In fact, George, you're going to get the bird's eye view coming right over where you live. It's going to go from southwest to northeast, about an hour from where I'll be at the time up in Western Pennsylvania to mine north and northwest.
Right.
It's going to go right up through Ontario, and you should get a pretty good view, George.
Yep,
yeah, I should
close
go
enough.
home. I should go home and visit my family because they're already there's places around there that are like rent. People are going there to buy tickets to go and sit and see the eclipse.
Yeah.
Niagara Falls area and all.
Oh yeah, going to be spectacular. So, well, listen, guys, you guys take care of yourselves. God bless you and your families. Stay safe. Just remember, every day, wake up, hit the ground running, and don't give up until the end of the day. You got it. This is one of those times you got to really hustle and be smart too, using tools like AI. And remember, she said it again tonight. Karina said it last week. Totally unscripted. How important it is for you to have your database. Everybody on your database, every contact. I don't care if it's your 3-year-old daughter or your 93-year-old grandmother. Everybody should be on your database, and you should have the monthly market update turned on for every single one, and call everybody like on a regular schedule. Have it use KB Core to schedule it for you. I'm telling you, 10% minimum conversion rate just for doing that. It's actually higher, but that's the floor. So if you're looking for transactions, You know the old saying, you're 3 feet from gold right now. It's the people you know. Okay. So please do that. I know some of you are already starting to do it and taking it to heart. And it's paying off. We can see the volume increasing. Our team's volume, just today, 4 new transactions. I don't know what the record is, but that's got to be pretty darn close. And every one of it's, Carla Canole, same thing. She, pretty new. She took it to heart. She's doing it. It works. It's the fundamentals. It's the dribbling, the passing, the shooting, like it is in basketball. That's what it is here for real estate. And that's where success starts. Okay, enough preaching. Let's go get some dessert, spend time with your families, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.